Lots of transfer quotes from Fabrizio Romano. Gallagher takes a new number, and Van der Ven and Van Hecker play the full 90 minutes for Netherlands in the World Cup. Here are your daily Tottenham news headlines. Hi everyone, hope you're well. Welcome back to the channel to another edition of the daily Tottenham news headlines. My name's leader Dorset Spur and I'm here to go through all the latest news, rumours and reports. If you're watching on YouTube, please like, comment and subscribe to the channel. If you're listening on audio platform, please do hit that follow button and leave a review if you can. Okay, so let's get into it. Loads and loads of comments from Fabrizio Romano today. So, Romano on save of Savinho and Tottenham. Savinho is a possibility for Tottenham, a strong possibility. There are conversations ongoing at Tottenham and Manchester City. Tottenham and the agents of the player Savinho was keen on a move 1 year ago. Savinho is still keen on a move now that the project is even more ambitious with a coach like Roberto De Zerbi pushing a lot. So Savinho remains an option for Tottenham, definitely. Then they need to reach an agreement with Man City. There is a conversation. I want to say to the fans, calmer, because every day is like, you say there are talks ongoing for Savinho. Why is there no update? You can't close all the deals in the middle of June. So obviously it takes some time before they negotiations discuss. It's big money, big player, big contract. And so obvious to take some time. But there are conversations. Romano on Christian Romero. There is interest in Romero. There is serious possibilities that he leaves. But at the moment, Manchester United is not something really concrete. They asked about the situation about Romero a few months ago, not in June or May, just to understand the situation. That's it. If United do arrive at the table, I will let you know. My understanding is that the priority of Romero, in case of Tottenham this summer, would be to try a different chapter in another country, not in England. In terms of preference, then we will see what happens there. Fabrizio Romano on Tonali situation. Tottenham bid was sent 3 days ago, rejected by Newcastle. 75 million was never going to be enough, but part of the plan. Talks have been on the way since then, with THFC determined to get the deal done. Spurs keep pushing. De Zerbi wants him. So additionally on this story from the Telegraph, Newcastle United have rejected Tottenham Hotspur's opening bid for Sandro Tonali, with Manchester City also keen on the midfielder. Telegraph Sport revealed this week that senior figures at Newcastle were surprised by Spurs' interest in Tonali, as his representatives had only previously discussed potential moves to Arsenal or City in the summer. As a well-placed source said on Saturday that several clubs have expressed an interest in signing Tonali, but nobody had met their valuation. Spurs have been the first to firm up their interest in the 26-year-old, presumably hoping to get a head start on their Premier League suitors. The bid was around £75 million, raising to £80 million with add-ons. Was made earlier this week and swiftly rejected by Sporting Director Ross Wilson and Chief Executive David Hopkinson. Newcastle's valuation of the Italy international is around 100 million, and Newcastle have always been clear with the player and his agent that they would not consider selling for less than their asking price. Tonali has remained professional up to this point and has not asked to leave as things stand, although the fact that a low bid has been made raises suspicions that this is designed to unsettle Tonali in the hope that he starts to agitate to depart. Memories of Alexander Isak going on strike last summer to force a move to Liverpool still sting everyone associated with Newcastle. The hope will be that a deal can be agreed with one of the interested parties before the Italian is due to return to pre-season training on July 14th. The Newcastle hierarchy have been braced for this situation for weeks and always maintained they would not stand in the way of a player who wanted to go as long as the money is good enough to sell. However, having lost Isaac as well as Anthony Gordon, who was sold to Barcelona for 75 million last month, the loss of Tonali will be another blow for manager Eddie Howe. It's already been bruising start to the summer, with Newcastle missed out on both Zadok Johanna, who has signed for Brighton and Hove Albion, and Victor Munoz, who changed his mind at the last minute to sign for Liverpool this week. The failure to complete a deal for Munoz was particularly painful, as he had told Newcastle he was going to sign and a medical had been arranged in the United States, where the winger is playing for Spain at the World Cup. That has increased the pressure on the club's recruitment team to land another of their priority targets against the backdrop of another impending big-name departure. Going back to Fabrizio Romano, Matthias Fernandes talks continue, as Man United have been in direct contact with his camp and West Ham for weeks. Tottenham also called players' agent to try to enter the deal separate from Tonali, for the Italian THFC remained confident. On Van der Ven, Romero says no move to Liverpool or Barcelona is planned for Mickey Van der Ven. Tottenham see the centre-back as a key part of the project. Roberto De Zerbi wants him to say no exit planned this summer. And a new bid from Brighton to Spurs for Luka Vuskovic, proposed worth 42 million plus 3 million add-ons. Vuskovic keen on the deal to find more space and play regularly. Brighton and THFC remain locked in negotiations, according to Fabrizio Romano. Moving on, Conor Gallagher on taking the number 8 shirt. It's an honour to wear the number 8 shirt. I'm looking forward to pulling on the jersey for this fantastic club. I'm hoping for a big season and to make our fans proud. And finally, Mickey Van der Ven and Jan-Paul van Hecke played the full 90 match for the Netherlands to beat Sweden 5-1 in Houston at the World Cup. Lucas Bergvall featured as a second half substitute for Sweden. So my thoughts on some of these stories. Well, there's an awful lot going on, isn't there? Savinho, we're still in that. That one's been rumbling on for quite a while, obviously since last season. I can't see that we can be having negotiations going left, right and centre with every club for all of these players. And I guess it's one deal at a time at this moment in time. It looks like the defence is resolved, you know, with the addition of Van Hecke earlier on. And obviously Robertson and Senesi. So now we move into the midfield areas, areas that we really do need some support in. So Savinho on that left side of the front would be a key man for that. And of course, the big one is the Tonali situation. £80 million bid for that player. 100 million is what they're looking for. And you know, in today's market, given that Diamande, for instance, as a 19-year-old, you know, they're looking for 80 odd million for him, and he's 19 years of age. So it just shows what the market is like at the moment, with all the big clubs trying to get the big players through the door as quickly as possible. So it'll be interesting to what happens. You know, if we're in the conversation, that's interesting on its own. It's just a case for me, I'm just concerned about if someone like Liverpool, Man United, Manchester City, Arsenal, one of those sorts of clubs start moving forward into this deal once we've got, you know, broken the back of it and kind of agreed a number, that they come in and steal the player in the same way that we had the situation with SA and so on. Semenyo, another one we were trying to get, and it just kind of didn't work out. The problem being that we've had a poor season last season for sure. And the players really need to be convinced that we are moving forward and not just going to go through another season of relegation battles. That's not what our players signing up for. In terms of financial stuff, if they can get the same money somewhere else without the fear of relegation and with the opportunity to win trophies, then they're going to take that all day long. So De Zerbi really needs to be on his best front foot to get the details to the players of what this project's about across the line. And I guess with the work that we've already done, it does indicate that we are moving forward. So hopefully that gives the other players confidence that that coming to Spurs isn't a backward step for sure. Little bit of a bit in there about Romero. We're all kind of guessing that he may well leave us this summer. Not heard any, clear bids or any clear discussions about him. We obviously know about the Atletico Madrid stuff that's kind of been rambling on in the background, but nothing concrete coming from that. So I guess that's one that's going to kind of pick up once the World Cup is out of the way, I guess. So we'll just have to see where that goes. So yeah, that's it from me. Keep it nice and sweet and short. I hope you've enjoyed the episode, and if you're watching on YouTube, please do like, comment and subscribe to the channel. If you're listening on audio platform, please do follow and leave a review if you can. I'll see you on the next one. Thank you for watching. Up the Spurs.